Hi, Jen.
Hi, Jo.
All right, so we've got Jane's piece of writing here.
Yes. So Jane's a girl in my class. She's in year 4. This is a bit of writing that she did in March, like last week. She was writing about a lizard in our classroom. We actually have a blue-tongue lizard in our classroom. My SLC is amazing, and he's done a lot of paperwork to get this lizard into our unit. So this is a story about Leonardo, the learning lizard, in our class. Jane's a bit of a reluctant writer, I suppose. I'm very happy with this bit of writing that she did about Leonardo. She's got lots of good ideas in this bit of writing, but I guess if you look at the achievement standard, so this is the year 3,
End of last year.
She's probably not, she's not there yet. So,
No.
She's got some texts including writing and images to express and develop. So she's got some experiences and events. Probably needs to get a little bit more detail and develop characters. And when we come down here into looking at punctuation and high frequency words spelled accurately, consonant and vowel.
You think that's an area to work on?
Yeah, I do.
All right, let's see how this piece of writing goes with that, because we know that now she's in year 4.
Yeah.
So there's an increase in what's expected there by the end of this year.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So do you want to read her? You read her handwriting better than me, being her teacher.
Yes, there is a little bit of a struggle at the end, but I'm sure we can figure it out together. Once upon a time, there was a lizard named Leonardo, the learning lizard, or Leo for short. Leo was very adventurously. One day, he found a very strange place. He was inside a small warm tank. He tried to escape by climbing up the top of the tank, but when he became closer and closer to the top, he became wobbly and wobblier. It was too hard to control, so he fell back down into the bottom of the tank. When he fell down, it must have made the door to escape open, so Leo can get out of the tank. He travelled around the place. At last he found himself in a tall building. He saw some tables, so he crawled up them. He was so high, he became scared. He thought to himself, an adventurer never gets scared. So he walked around, and then he couldn't come back down. He was stuck on the top of the tables. He looked around himself. All he could see was a pencil. He wondered, what can I do with this? He thought once again, wait, maybe.
Well, I think you've read that very well, considering there's no punctuation at the end. So, yes, you do know Jane. It's a delightful little story with fabulous ideas.
Yes.
I think it's, the way she's talked about Leo, and that Leo is this little character, it's like another little person in the class, and I'm sure all the kids love Leo.
Yes.
And she's got a really gorgeous little story unravelling here. And it's hidden behind some of the lack of punctuation and conventions here. But let's have a look, and let's do a closer analysis.
All right.
So if we look at this narrative analysis tool, let's have a look at audience with her capacity to orient, engage, and affect the reader. Well, she did actually affect me. I think it's a really lovely little story. I think,
and she's really got me wondering at the end. Maybe.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So if we talk about the beginning, that once upon a time.
She's had a go at engaging the audience.
Yeah, it's formulaic.
It is.
A lot of kids fall into that. Genuine attempt to engage. And the ending is engaging, even though I think it's probably setting off for the next chapter if she was going to write that.
Yes. Well, I think she's finished she's run out of time, so there is more to come. There's
I like this little quote here, an adventure, as you said, an adventurer never gets scared.
Yes.
That's a lovely little way to engage, isn't it? Okay, I'll just put that in to remind you. Can we just jump down to ideas, because I actually think that's one of her strongest things. If you think about the perspective that she's got in there, this little tiny lizard in the tank, some sort of table or bench in the classroom, and he's really little, and there he is when he gets out and he escapes. He's up against the pencil.
Yes.
And so I think that's just a beautiful idea. It's like Land of the Giants all over again.
Yes, I think she's really experimenting with, well, size and perspective. It's like she's actually been able to put herself into the shoes, so to say, of the lizard.
Yeah, that's right. Which is a beautiful crafting of the idea. It's the beginning of the crafting.
Yes.
She needs to take it further. Yeah. She describes Leo's thinking, which is pretty sophisticated.
Yes. I mean, that's something I think we could build on together, because there is a lot of action in there. But yeah, I'd really like to work with her on that.
Okay. It's a lovely idea for a narrative.
Yeah.
I think that works really well. Yeah. So if we go into text structure now, I know she's only been with you for a few weeks. She's showing us she has some understanding of how narratives work with just a basic orientation. Would you agree?
Yes. She's described the small, like the warm tank. So she's sort of got a setting in there. And I think she has finished.
So if we go down here, setting, I'll say she's got a setting.
Oh, yes.
Setting, so she's got a small warm tank.
A strange place.
Yeah, strange place there. She's actually reasonably strong at setting.
Yeah. Well, while we're at setting narrative devices there, the character as well. I'd really like to see her describe Leo a little bit more.
Yeah, because you had to tell me he was a blue-tongued lizard.
Yeah.
And what size he was.
Yeah.
Okay. She's got, well, we know he wants to escape. So we know Leo wants to escape.
Yeah.
But Leo needs more character development. All right, so if we go back to the basic orientation, which again is that once upon.
Yes.
That's really all we get. I think last year's teacher and perhaps her reading of novels has given her more of an understanding about complication, because she's got the idea that lots of things need to happen in the complication, and you can see them starting and on their way.
Yeah.
So
but he's stuck.
Yeah.
He's a bit scared. He's wondering what he's going to do next. So
yeah. So we've got some actions in there. Actions. Yeah. What about the resolution?
Well, she's not finished, so
No.
I think, I'm just looking forward to conferencing with her really and seeing where she's thinking this might go next. And
Okay, I'll put no resolution as next. As yet, sorry.
Yeah.
All right. We've done our ideas. We've done narrative devices. We've also had a look here at vocabulary. We're looking at the range and precision of contextually appropriate language choices. What do you think about her language choices?
I'm really happy with Jane, because she's being brave and given this a go. So the word adventurative, strange, warm, wobbly and wobblier.
And it is a made-up word, but we know Roald Dahl makes up words too. It could be intentional. That's something to talk to her about.
Yeah.
Does she mean adventurous, or is she actually creating a new word, adventurative? Interesting. And strange and warm are good. Okay. So in terms of cohesion, which is the control of the threads and relationships across the text, and how that's done maybe through different connectives, substitution, word associations.
Yes.
She's got some starting points here, hasn't she?
Yes, she has. I did have a look at this on another piece of paper. You want to have a look at this?
Okay, what have you done?
Well, it's a bit of a mess, I'm sorry. But I was just trying to think about cohesion and how she's referred to Leonardo, the learning lizard, at the top. So I'm just looking at the yellow now, and then she's used Leo here. And when she's tracked, there's a lot of use of the word he. Then she referred to Leo again, and she's just used he. Now, I just need to check with her that she understands this sort of connecting or referencing from the noun and pronoun.
Yep.
And I think when she's adding other characters, and I've noticed this now, and it wasn't until I did this analysis that I realised that she's not really understanding this when she puts other characters into the story, because it's quite confusing. So I don't know if you want to write a note on the other side of where to next, but that's one of the things I'd really like to work on.
Let's just comment what she's got in terms of cohesion first. So Leo just becomes he. So there's pronoun referencing, but
it's probably too much, so it gets confusing. There's particularly other characters.
Too many he. Yep. What about her? There's other sorts of cohesion there.
Yeah, she's had and I don't know if she understands she's done this, but I like the way she's got some lexical cohesion here.
Show me that.
And that's the black underlined words. So it's just sort of tracking through the text. Leo was adventurative, strange, he wanted to escape, climbing, closer and closer, wobblier, wobblier.
They all link, don't they?
They link. So
okay, that's a great example of lexical cohesion.
Yes, I don't think she knows she's done that, but I'm looking forward to pointing it out to her.
Yeah.
And also just noticing it in other texts when, that reading, writing connection, and making it more visible for all my writers, really.
So what were some of the other ones? Adventurer.
Strange place, escape, climbing, closer and closer.
Okay, I've just got a couple there.
Wobbly, wobblier.
All right. Okay, well, I've just written in about paragraphing because there actually is none.
Yes.
So that's something that we'll work on when we get to her next steps.
Yeah.
What about sentence structure? Because, there's some... I think it's simple sentences there.
Yeah, there's a lot of simple sentences and compound sentences. Meaning is clear. So even linking to text cohesion, maybe look at some sentence combining, using some conjunctions too.
What about tense?
Tense.
He fall down.
He fall down. She said that twice, I think. Wrote that twice.
Do you think that's how she speaks, or is that a misunderstanding?
That's how she speaks.
What could we do there?
Just a lot of that recasting, I think. Just repeating it back.
All right. So punctuation is quite an area of need, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So we've already written in here that there's a lack of punctuation, few capitals to indicate the start of sentence, and I think we noted there's just one full stop in the whole piece.
Yeah.
Those last two sentences, which are actually quite beautiful, bring those over again and let's have a look.
It took me a while to figure these out.
And they do, this is a perfect example to show kids that, you really, really need the punctuation, because that is a beautiful little piece of text. He wondered, what can I do? What can I do with this? He thought once again. Wait, maybe. With that punctuation, it just becomes alive.
Yes. Yeah.
And you and I, as adult readers, can persevere with this, but the intended audience of the classmates, not really. They just get a little bit lost and probably give up. All right, so some of those things
tends to be the first thing they notice. And
it is.
Her feedback tends to be based on that rather than her great ideas.
Yeah. All right, so let's have a look over here at our spelling. So just with overall her accuracy and spelling of some of the difficult words, well, she's had a go. She's had a go, and we know it's control. We know it's escape. We know it's wobblier. So there's some attempts at some of the more difficult words, which is great.
Yeah.
What about the simple words? What have we said?
Some of the simple words weren't right.
And when we go back to the Year 3 achievement standard, that's really expected.
Yeah,
that
like come.
She should have come. That's exactly right. So, she's really not solid with the end of Year 3 achievement standard, and we're into Year 4 now. Okay, so in terms of editing, revising and proofreading, in terms of evidence of self-correction, well, she's actually circled some words, tried, control, escape.
Yes.
So she knows that she's done that. She's found the grammatical one by going, he fall down. She's underlined that. What I find interesting is that, and I think this is what happens with a lot of kids, is that they've almost misunderstood our messages and they've gone straight to proofreading without actually thinking about, is the meaning right? Have I got my message across?
Yeah. Missing the crafting.
Yeah, that's right. And yet that to me is her next step. It's not circling tried and realising it's an I instead of a Y. It's actually, have I got the meaning through? Is my message clear? Are my ideas working? We really want her to do that as her first step with editing and crafting, rather than going straight to proofreading and that correcting. Okay, so
I'm sure I can do that.
I'm sure you can too. All right, so now let's have a look at some of the spelling, and we've got some omissions, insertions, phonic alternatives. What have we got happening?
She missed the C and escape.
Yep. Escape, but we know exactly what it means. Yep.
Crawled. Missed the W. Wondered.
Okay. How did she write wondered? So I can.
WONDERD.
Okay.
That's not bad.
No, that's pretty good. And she got thought somewhere too, didn't she?
Yeah, THOUT.
Okay. Good to put those on a word wall.
Yes.
Okay. Did she insert any letters that didn't need to be there?
No, not that I could see.
Okay. I think there might be a bit of a vowel mix-up though. With
yes,
come and control. Do you think?
Yes.
So she's got chime for come.
Yes.
And I'll just put a little question mark, because you need to see how else she does it in other pieces of writing. But does she have a vowel mix-up? Not sure.
Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah, that's easily.
I think I remember phonic alternatives with pencil. Pencil she had, didn't she?
And scared. She had a couple of versions of scared. One was SCKED.
Ah, yes.
One was SKEAD.
So she's still problem solving that one.
Yes.
Because she's not writing it the same each way.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
Mispronunciations. I think that is the he fall down.
Yeah.
Fall back down.
And doesn't she say must have instead of must of?
Must, yes.
I think she's got must of.
Yes, must of.
And that's how a lot of kids talk,
Yes.
instead of the must have. And that's just hearing correct speech, isn't it? Standard Australian English. I don't think I noticed any transpositions. Shall we have another look?
Yeah, I didn't notice any.
You know, the typical friend for friend. No?
No.
Okay, leave that one. What about some random ones?
Well, the CIME for come.
That's
I
why
will
we're
have
not
to
sure.
follow
Is it a
up. Yeah.
vowel mix-up or is it just a random?
Yeah.
Let's just check that. Okay. Oh, well, this one I think we noticed, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Inappropriate capitalisation or letter reversal.
Yeah, so the B's we noticed are capitalised.
The B's and the D's are all capitals.
Yeah.
Always, just about always, as caps. Why do you think she's doing that?
Well, I'm going to investigate. I think she's confusing B's and D's, and this is her strategy. So it's not till you really sit down and analyse that piece of writing that you begin to notice these patterns. So I really want to see if that's a pattern, and see if we can quickly sort that out.
So is she using capitals as a strategy?
Yes.
I wonder if someone's told her to do that.
Yeah, maybe.
Interesting. All right. Well, we know a lot about Jane now, just from this piece of writing. We know we've got some text structure thing, the ideas. We've got some vocab, cohesion, paragraphing. We've got a little bit of something in every area. We can't focus on everything. If you've got other children in the class where there's some similar needs, and it might be able to be some mini lessons for a group of them or something that we could do. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking like Jane's piece of writing has a lot of action, and I think a lot of my writers write this way, do. And I really like the way Jane has had the thinking of Leonardo or Leo, and even the feeling, when he was feeling scared. So I'd like to point that out really clearly to my writers in a mini lesson, and also notice it when we're reading other texts. Notice the doing, the thinking, and the feeling, and get the children to mix it up a little bit more, because I think a lot of the writing is based on action.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Reading, writing connection here.
Yeah.
All right. So I really think, and the other thing I would like is to suggest that it might be quite a lot of your Year 4 children now, is they really need to focus on meaning before punctuation when they're wanting to review.
Yeah.
So I might put that here, focus on meaning before punctuation.
Yeah.
And as we know, as children become more confident, they tend to put that punctuation in as they read aloud, because they stumble over it themselves and they can see what it is. But I think focus on meaning is a really big thing for her.
Yes.
What is another area, and you may not do all these at once, but what's something else to notice for Jane as next teaching points?
Look, I'd love to point out for her that lexical cohesion that she's used. I'd say unintentionally, but I'd like to point that out with her permission, maybe to the whole class, and then look at that in other texts as well. So where she used the word adventurative, strange place, escape, climbing, closer and closer, wobbly on wobblier.
Yep.
That sort of connection weaving through her writing.
Yep. I think you do. I really would, even though these are things to work on, there's so much to celebrate in this piece of writing. If we just pop it back here so that we can see it, is that it's really a delightful little story that needs developing.
Yes.
I can see it illustrated. I can see all the other children enjoying it. It's in terms of audience and purpose, it's great, and she'll certainly get response for it in a positive way. And so I think we need to celebrate her ideas, which is wonderful, and then help her get those ideas across strongly with some of these things that we've been able to see as her next steps.
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your help, Jo.